With the beginning of the DCU just a few months away, news and rumors abound have been coming up regarding who will be playing certain characters, and the actors who have been propping up seem like unusual choices for the most part that would greatly affect what the DCU would look like. And that's what I'll be covering in this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to help me get to 100,000 subscribers and to see more DCU content. And let's begin. As of right now, the ages of the actors playing the heroes of the DCU are all over the place. Superman is 30, Guy Gardner is 53, Hawkgirl is 23, and Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho are in their early 40s. Clearly, James Gunn is not going for a set age range for the heroes of the DCU, and all the rumors seem to also reinforce that. Firstly, is a rumor that's been around for a while, but I haven't covered yet in a video, which is that Booster Gold will be played by Kumail Nanjiani, which is a rumor that does have some weight to it. First, it was simply something some scoopers were spouting, but then Kumail was seen with the DCU co-head Peter Safran, as well as David Corenswet at the Olympics. And to add to that, Peter Safran's wife liked a comment saying, "Can't wait to see Kumail Nanjiani as Booster Gold." She did also like a few more comments after that about some unsubstantiated rumors that came out of nowhere, but that also seemed like it maybe might have been damage control, and that maybe she just messed up and liked something that she didn't know was supposed to still be a secret. All things considered, it seems very possible that this rumor is indeed true, and if I'm being honest, and being brutally honest, I really do not like this casting. Kumail Nanjiani just doesn't seem like he's right for the role in any regard, aside from maybe his age, since that would put him in the same age range as Ted Kord, if the intended casting of Jason Sudeikis does come true. But the Booster Gold show is meant to be his origin, so is he going to become Booster Gold in his 40s? It doesn't really sound like it'd fit. Also, Booster Gold is a blonde white guy, with that also being an integral part of the design and also very much fitting for the character. Kumail just doesn't look the part. He also has an accent that doesn't fit, and if I'm being honest, I never found him to be very funny or entertaining either. So honestly, this would be an awful casting that I'm praying isn't true and that he's playing somebody else. There is hope here though. James Gunn did say they won't be casting until there's a completed script for a project, and it hasn't been confirmed that they're at that stage yet with Booster Gold. And while it's possible Booster Gold could appear in a previous project, it has been confirmed that probably the most likely appearance for him, Superman, is not going to be coming to fruition. Booster Gold will not be appearing there. I'm not entirely sure if any of this means anything, but at least for now, this casting is not set in stone, meaning there is still hope, because I just honestly cannot see myself ever seeing Kumail Nanjiani as a good Booster Gold. I would have cast a conventionally attractive comedic blonde white guy in maybe their mid-30s, and Kumail Nanjiani just isn't any of that, aside from just being a guy. Then we have Lanterns, a show that is closer to release than Booster Gold, as while Booster Gold is in development, Lanterns has been officially ordered for an 8-episode season at HBO, and casting is officially in full effect for the likes of Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. The rumored castings for Jon Stewart are pretty straightforward. Two black actors in their early 30s were followed on Instagram by one of the writers of Lanterns, Tom King, around the same time that rumors for the Hal Jordan castings was coming out. Firstly is Aaron Pierre, who's 30 years old and looks very similar to the Jon Stewart of the DCAU. And then there's Damson Idris, who's 33. I can see either actor playing Jon Stewart, and I can't really speak to either's acting capabilities, but between the two, I think Aaron Pierre just fits the look a bit better, but if the other is a better actor, then he could definitely play the role as well. What's not nearly as straightforward is with the rumored castings for Hal Jordan, which were kind of shocking to me. Apparently, Josh Brolin has been straight up offered the role, with any other candidate only being considered if he turns it down. Josh Brolin as Hal Jordan wouldn't be quite as bad as Kumail Nanjiani as Booster Gold, but again, I'm not a fan. Josh Brolin is 56 years old, a good decade above the range I would have expected for Hal's starting age, and that's above the range, meaning I thought Hal would be 45 at the oldest. Josh Brolin, I guess, could pass as an older Hal Jordan, but it's not like he's the spitting image or anything. And then, having been chosen to play Thanos, Brolin has a very deep voice, which is not the type of voice I associate with Hal Jordan. Neither is his level of charisma or charm. They could be going for a very unique take on the Green Lantern Corps and mythos, and I'm still keeping my mind open on the matter, but for all intents and purposes, this seems like a confusing and unusual decision. Again, these are just rumors, so take all of it with a grain of salt, but apparently if Josh Brolin turns down the role, there are 4 other actors on the shortlist who are being considered, like Matthew McConaughey, Ewan McGregor, Timothy Olyphant, and Chris Pine. For McConaughey and McGregor, they're in the same age range as Brolin, being 54 and 53 respectively, but they do look a bit younger and have slightly softer voices, especially Ewan Ewan McGregor, so that could maybe fit the role better, but I just can't see either of them playing Hal Jordan. They just don't really look the part. Then there's Timothy Olyphant, who is even older than those two, the same age as Josh Brolin, but looks a lot younger, and in terms of look, he looks a lot more like Hal Jordan, maybe because he's just a better looking guy and Hal Jordan is supposed to be very handsome, but I think Timothy Olyphant is my choice above all of the other actors who are in their 50s. However, Chris Pine is the clear best option here. Chris Pine was an extremely popular fan cast for Hal Jordan for a long time and was even offered the role at some point before opting to play Steve Trevor, maybe because that was more of a done deal. In fact, they never made the Green Lantern Corps movie. Chris Pine is 44 years old, which is more the age I would have expected, looks a lot like Hal Jordan, has Hal's charisma, and just seems more fitting for the role. Chris Pine is the clear best choice here, followed by Timothy Olyphant, and the rest I just cannot see as Hal Jordan, especially Josh Brolin. He is just way too old and doesn't really have Hal Jordan's charisma or charm or even his voice. Regardless, it seems the age range of Hal in the DCU will be mid-40s to mid-50s, which is entirely not what I expected, and if you couple that with Guy Gardner being in his 50s, Terrific and Metamorpho being in his 40s, Booster Gold and Ted Kord seemingly being in their late 40s alongside Peacemaker, while Hawkgirl and Supergirl are in their 20s, the ages of the heroes of the DCU seem to be entirely all over the place, with Superman's age relation to them being entirely different from the typical DC universe, especially when it comes to Hal Jordan. This will be a version of Superman who is between 15 to 25 years younger than Hal. It's been previously mentioned that by the events of Lanterns, Hal will be considered a Green Lantern legend, a status that I thought maybe could have been cultivated over the course of maybe a decade, so it would have been possible to place him in the same generation as Superman and Batman, but given the new age range we could see here of 44 to 56, it's quite possible that Hal Jordan will be from an entirely different generation of heroes that predates the current one. Maybe Hal became a Green Lantern in the 90s or early 2000s. Maybe he never came back to Earth until the events of Lanterns. Maybe he did, that doesn't really matter. But maybe by those events, Hal will have been a Green Lantern already for somewhere between 20 to 30 years, placing him in a much more mature role than he ever has in the comics or in any adaptation, and a much more mentor figure role given his advanced age. Hal's advanced age could also mean something for the story of Lanterns and even the larger DCU. An older Hal Jordan with white streaks in his hair is synonymous with the 90s era of Green Lantern, in which Hal lost his mind and became a universe-wide event villain called Parallax, which ends in his death. A decade later, Hal returns to life, having been revealed to have been possessed by an entity named Parallax, who then powers the Yellow Lantern Corps. All of this might be what James Gunn is planning for the DCU. Lanterns is meant to focus on a murder on Earth that connects to the larger story of the chapter. Maybe Hal will be revealed to have committed that murder, and who knows, maybe Parallax will be the big bad of the chapter. But then again, I don't think that's supported by the fact that they're offering Josh Brolin the role, because while he has proven that he could be the big bad of a saga, I don't think it'd be a good idea for the main villain of the DCU's first chapter to be played by the same actor who played Thanos. And if I'm being honest, I don't love the idea of a possessed Hal Jordan being the villain of a chapter, or even the villain of Lanterns, because that would mean that John Stewart will be the main Green Lantern of the DCU, like he was in the DCAU and more recently the Tomorrowverse. Not that I have anything against John Stewart, but that's the same story that played out in the Green Lantern movie in the Tomorrowverse. That's something we already saw pretty recently, and because of how recently that was, I kinda just don't want to see it again, and I think it'd be a shame for Hal to not get a bigger spotlight in the universe, considering Hal has never really gotten any good appearances in live action up until this point. It's the opposite reason why I wouldn't mind if Barry Allen kind of just never appeared in this universe aside from flashbacks, letting Wally West be the main character, because Barry Allen has had a lot of live action appearances. Hal Jordan has had one, and that was in a bad movie. So honestly, I hope Hal Jordan sticks around for a while and gets a big role, but that's just about all I have to say for now. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about these castings. Do you like them? Are you against them? And who would you have cast in these roles if you had the chance? Or for Hal Jordan between those options? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.